Well, this is our first ever podcast, video, whatever you want to call it, for the Resume app. I think we'll introduce ourselves real quick. I'm Chris. I am the founder and software developer for the Resume app. I focus primarily on our mobile app and our website, or I guess our web app.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, my name's Shalom. I worked on development. Chris got me on board earlier this year with this big idea, and I help with a lot of development. And now I kind of work more on like the sales side and our marketing team. So, yeah, super excited.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we really just want to hone in on like why we built this and how it really benefits people. So I guess I'll take the first part, and then maybe you can talk a little bit about how it benefits people.
Yeah.
So the Resume app, um, it actually started earlier this year. I think I want to say like around March, February. Do you happen to recall, Shalom?
I think it was March. I think it
I
was
think it was
March.
March.
Hmm.
Okay, we'll say March. Um, when I was just casually working, and I was getting work done, and um, I have this really good app to get good resumes built. Um, Back in 2024, I landed four different um, offers within the year without really trying a whole lot because of my resume building skills using tools like ChatGPT. And I thought, hey, this would be a really good idea. This would be a really good app to build and have people use because one, people aren't really good at building resumes to begin with, and two, like AI is really where everyone's kind of going. And so I leverage my skills of being able to make an app, and then my skills of knowing how to make really good resumes, and I essentially put the two together, and that's how we kind of came to the idea. We started building, I want to say in March. If it wasn't late March, I think it was like early April, and by I think early June, we had our first beta testers. And I think we had approximately 15, somewhere between 15 and 20 beta testers at the time. And we went to a full release in early August. And right now, I think we're sitting at just a little over 100 people that have created an account with the Resume app. Funny story, we actually didn't know what we were going to call the Resume app. I remember, did you remember this? I
Yeah.
remember us sitting there in a meeting trying to figure out what in the world we're going to call this app. And we'd been calling it the Resume app for months by this point. Cause this is like early June. We're getting ready to release to beta. I was like, we got to have a domain name. There's no way we're releasing without a domain name. And I remember sitting there on my phone on Squarespace domains, and I was like, I wonder if the Resume app exists, right? Because we've been calling it that for weeks.
Yeah.
And I find out it was available. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just buy it. Like, what do I got to lose?
Yep. Yep.
If we don't like it a year from now, we'll just buy a new domain.
Yeah.
And it's stuck. I think it fits very well for what we've been able to accomplish so far, and definitely has made it easy to describe to people what exactly we're trying to get done.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really funny. I remember just like being mind blown for that for like like a week or two. I was like, how did we not? And then for just how much was the domain? It was like $7 or something
It
like
was like $7. Yeah, to get the entire domain for like a year or two. I think it was like a 2 year domain for like $7.
that. Yeah. Oh
But
man.
I remember laughing too because I was like, man, we're just sitting here. We've been talking about a new domain for like 2 weeks at that point,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nothing stuck. Like I remember we went through like all these different ideas,
Yeah.
and nothing was sticking. And then finally, we were just like, let's just do it.
That's okay.
We're just buying this domain. Let's just call it.
Yeah. 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 It's pretty cool. It's pretty funny. But yeah, so the resume app, it's not just the resume app too on top of that. But it's a great base. The name is like the perfect base for where it starts because we were like, okay, AI resume generator that takes all your data and kind of compiles it into one place. Um the step above that that makes it like something a little more unique for like our customers that use it is it takes all of the experience. So like you stubbed your toe when you were 12 and you got back up on your bike again and you kept going, right? Or whatever, you scraped your knee. Um, AI can take experiences and stories from that and apply them to job posting to be like, hey, they're looking for somebody that's determined. Okay, we know that like this person is determined because I'm looking at stories like in their AI. The AI takes it, compiles them together, and be like, "This is a determined person." Um, and that's just like the baseline of where the resume app starts, right? I like to call it, and this is not on paper for us, but I like to call it like a three-dimensional resume.
Yeah,
Where yeah, where it's like everything about you, in the future too, when we keep implementing a lot of the other features we have or we have plans for, the AI will know who you are. They don't know who Shalom is, you know, they don't know who Chris is. And so when you apply for a job, they're gonna be like, okay, it can see like this is the person they're looking for. I know who this person is already. It's not just scraping stuff off a piece of paper, making a lot of broad assumptions about who you are. Like if you just throw it in ChatGPT by itself. Um, it's going to take data from your interviews, your practice interviews, your other questions you've gone through, the rest of the data that's all on your account under your profile. It's going to take all that in consideration and then craft resumes and cover letters and then give you pros and cons. Like, hey, like you're looking for a lot of jobs like this. Maybe you should work on like this skill. Let's practice this. Let's practice your intro. It can tell if you're a confident person or if you need to work on your confidence, you know, for the future. Little things like that that just gonna they take it like way past just being a resume building website or a resume building platform to like a career building one. So
yeah, and that's really what separates us too from like the rest of the pack,
yeah.
right? Like ChatGPT, for example. Like I remember not too long ago, somebody asked me at a meetup here in Bentonville, and they're like, "What's the difference between you and like every other AI builder like ChatGPT?"
Yeah.
And I remember telling him like, "Well, the big issue is that ChatGPT can't recall all of your information."
Hmm.
Right? Like, yeah, like it can recall some stuff. It does a really good job of being able to recall certain memory points, but it can't recall every single piece of data that you have. And then even less so when it comes to your work experience, which is like personal, right? And changes constantly. Like the things that I worked on a few weeks ago are completely different from the things that I'm working on this week,
Hmm.
right? And that's the real big upside to the resume app, that with the more information that you put in your profile, the stronger your resumes and the stronger your interview prep can become, because it's not just creating something for you, it's gathering your data and then creating it for you, right,
Exactly.
based off of your information.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the scale to which that can just keep growing too is something that I'm like, I'm honestly beyond excited about because like, just, I mean, you can imagine just like what kind of person you are. The resume app can become your journal of work experiences. Like on a Friday, you can just get a little notification on your phone maybe, and you can be like, hey, like, you know, we just met our deadline for this week, you know? So I'll just add that in like, hey, met a deadline this week. These problems happen real quick. You know, a minute or 2 minutes, you type it up, hit save. Now it's added to your profile. It's added to your little 3D resume of yourself. Years down the road, you're applying to a new job, applying to a new position, or you're starting up something on the side and you need to talk to somebody. You can craft a resume, a cover letter, an email,
Yeah,
even.
it's all just, yeah, because all your data is located there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about how, so we're dubbing it the keyword, or career memory. Sorry, that's what we're dubbing it now, career memory. And so essentially, as you progress in your career, we want to make sure that your career memory stays intact. We don't want you to accidentally lose that stuff. Because say a year from today, right? Maybe you're going through a promotion. Maybe you are looking for a new job, like you said, right?
Mhm.
Well, if it's something that maybe you haven't worked on today, but maybe you worked on it 3 or 4 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Then we can recall that memory for you and then bring it up. And let me tell you, like I've interviewed people in the past, and I've seen like how much easier it is for someone to get across the finish line if they've had even a little bit of experience, even if it was like 5 or 10 years ago. That little bit of experience is much stronger than someone newer who is just learning the tech stack,
Exactly.
right? So like the more information you're willing to give about yourself, the stronger you're going to become. Right. And like you said, like this is just like the base, right? Where I think long term, we're going to start introducing bigger features that your information will help you accelerate your career. Like one of my favorite thoughts that we've had recently is like your performance reviews. Like how many times at the end of the year, because I know I've had this in the past where like I had to
Mhm.
go back and recall like all the major things that I've done in the year. Well, my downside is I can only remember like two or three,
Yeah.
right? And I think for the most part, most people only recall like two or three, and that kind of sucks because you could accidentally lose out on a promotion or a bigger raise or some better leadership opportunities because you didn't have that, on your performance review,
Yeah.
right? So this isn't like, yes, the resume app and it's at its core, at its base is a way for you to kind of journal your work experience, but at the end of the day, we want it to be the place where you go and can recall your information. And like we've already been talking to people about different features that we want to implement in the future. Won't talk a whole lot about that today, but know that we're really user focused on how do we take your information and how do we enhance that for you in either your current career or in a different career. Maybe it's a different job, maybe it's your current job, whatever it may be. But how do we leverage that to make you the